Hi guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a pretty cool piece from Romania. Now before we get too far into the video, I just want to let you know that I am battling a cold, so my voice might sound a little bit different. But anyway, let's take a look at this piece. So what we got in front of us here is a Romanian M1990 leaf camouflage uniform. Now there are quite a bit of different variations in this uniform. There are two primary versions. There's like the lighter leaf pattern, like autumn variant, and then there's a more darker variant as well. So what you have in front of you here is the lighter autumn variant, and then like I said again, there are slight variations in the individual colors of the leaves as well. So if you buy one of these online, you'll probably notice that there's quite a lot of different variations, so it can be hard to find a matching set of shirt and pants. But what really spoke to me, about this uniform is I really just think that this could almost come off as like a casual print on a piece of civilian clothing, just because, you can tell it's intended to be a military camouflage, and I think it does that job well. But it also, I feel like, could be used on a civilian print of clothing, or maybe used as hunting, just because, the leaf is not super authoritarian, or, it doesn't give me a super aggressive vibe, but it still is effective at, camouflaging an individual. So basically the story behind this, it was introduced in 1990, obviously. Well, in December of 1989, the Romanian Socialist Republic ended, so they pretty much had to create a uniform on the fly in order to, equip their new armed forces with something. So you can tell that this uniform is very simple and basic, and they probably just came up with this on the fly, without too much time. But yeah, we'll take a look at that, and we'll definitely see how, it's pretty simple and nothing crazy. But yeah, let's just take a closer look at the pattern itself. So like I mentioned before, you'll see that the geometric shapes do resemble leaves from a distance, but upon closer inspection, you can see that, they're not exactly leaf shaped, but they do resemble that as at a distance. They are kind of randomly shaped blobs, but upon closer inspection, yeah, they're not exactly leaf shaped, but at a distance it creates that effect. What you also notice if you're looking closely, there's sometimes a little bit of a gap in between the colors. This usually happens when the print roller doesn't exactly match up, so this is somewhat of a printing error. This would usually be, but it's happening quite a bit all over this uniform. The colors, they seem to be like, they're supposed to match up, but they don't exactly match up. So I think that's another effect of probably the rust of this uniform, was these errors in between the colors. So that's another interesting factor. The material of this uniform, it's very stiff, and it kind of makes it prone to wrinkles. As you can see, there's just a ton of wrinkles in this uniform. I did have it at the bottom of a pile, but I don't know exactly. I'm not very good at identifying the exact type of material, but I can tell you that it's pretty stiff, and that's why it leaves these wrinkles in here. Yeah, not exactly sure. It almost seems like some sort of like soft canvas material, but it does seem to be, pretty thick, especially around the collar area. But yeah, let's look at the features of this uniform now that we're done talking about the pattern and the colors. I didn't actually mention the colors, but yeah, we'll talk about that right now. So as for colors, we got like this dark brown, almost crimson red color. Got a dark green, got a nice orange color here, and then another light green. So we have about those approximate 4 colors, and those do change depending on the variation. But anyway, if we start on the center of the uniform, we can see that we have 2 central pockets that do happen to be bloused. So we have that extra bit of material there. And then we have these really tiny buttons. These are really kind of annoying to open and close, to be honest. They're very difficult to actually undo. And then as we see here, the pocket itself, the top can't really be flapped open because it's sewn. So if you do store something in here, you just kind of have to put it in there. And you can't really open up the top flap all the way, which I guess makes it good for, security. Things aren't going to come out easy, but that also means that they're not going to really go in easy as well. So that's kind of an interesting feature. I haven't really noticed that on many other uniforms except this one. And you'll see it's the same on the other side as well. You can see it's sewn. So the only way you can really put something in is to unbutton it. And yeah, you can't really put anything bigger than you could really fit in here because of that interesting feature. So that's something interesting. We do have two epaulets on the shoulders. I'm not sure if these were, so actually I have seen photos of rank tabs being used with these. It's kind of hard to find photos of Romanian soldiers wearing this uniform because it was only worn between the years of 1990 and 1994, I believe. After this, it was replaced by a fleck pattern. And then in 2002, they switched to like DPM. So there was a really pretty short window of time when this uniform was actually used. And, you know, because it's like a post-Soviet country at that time, I'm sure there was a lot of conflicts and, you know, just not a lot of people probably had personal cameras to take pictures. But I have found a few on Facebook groups. So it's always cool to, you know, find photos of these being worn. Anyway, as we go along to the left arm, we can see we got a little button here for rolling up the sleeves. That's what I assume it is for, at least. No pockets or anything on the arm. It's very simple. And we do have a single button for the cuff. And as you can see, we have material here so that it could be easily rolled up. The sleeve could be easier rolled up. So we have that little bit of, you know, the material split right here for ease of rolling up. And like I said, just a very kind of stiff material. If you'll see, you know, you can just poke it and it won't really lose its shape. It kind of has that shape to it. But anyway, we'll move on to the right arm. We'll see we have the exact same features. Got this button right here and another cuff with this type of split material on it. And yeah, so pretty simple there. If we go to the collar and undo the first button, we'll notice that there's a little tag here. And this is pretty cool because it's actually stamped. And what you can see here is it says CR and then on the other side Romania. So Roman. I think it's supposed to be Romania, but they probably didn't have the space to finish that. And then this other part is 39, and I believe that's the chest inch, so 39. And then there's these two lines right here. And then we have, of course, here a little loop for hanging it up. So that's always pretty cool. And then as we move down to the bottom, I don't know what you call this, but the way it's done down here, it's kind of got like a little bit of an angle right there. I'm not sure exactly what that's called, but it's not perfectly like horizontal. It's definitely a stylistic choice. And then earlier I noticed on the inside of the bottom right here on the shirt, there's this another stamp that says 161. So that's probably the height in like centimeters. So pretty interesting to find that. And you can even see there's like the little borders of ink here because it's like a square that you just stamp with. So yeah, pretty cool. You can see that. I'm not really going to unbutton this one because it is very difficult to undo all these buttons and it would take quite a long time. But I didn't really see anything on the inside really like worthy of note. No like other tags other than that. We'll flip it over real quick and take a look. So yeah, just flipping it over, we can see somehow some of the ways the pattern repeats itself. Some of the distinct parts of the pattern, like these little, they almost look like branches kind of, you know, we got like these longer wavy lines in contrast to the bigger splotches. And that's a pretty unique feature that you can look at if you're trying to find parts that repeat. But yeah, there you go, just take a good look at it, see how it works. Like I said, this is actually pretty slept on camo. I don't think too many people really know about it, or I'm sure people know about it. They just, you know, it's Romania. It's not like a super famous country, but it's definitely a great pattern in my opinion, and that's why I think it's underrated. And it's also a very affordable camouflage as well. I've been seeing these online sell for like 20 bucks or so. So for the price, I'd say, you know, it's definitely a great camouflage pattern and a cool piece of history as well, even if it was only used for like 4 years. Just one more thing before we go. There was another cool version of this pattern used by like the Interior Ministry or something, Ministry of the Interior, where it's basically this, except the color scheme is like black, blue, and like light gray. So it's like a different color scheme, but it's very cool as well. I've also seen photos of that one being used, but I haven't found any examples for sale in the U.S. Although I have seen examples for sale in Romania. But yeah, if you have an example of that one, it's pretty distinct. You'll know if you have it. Just let me know and maybe make a video of that, because it would be just cool to preserve the history. But anyway, guys, thanks for checking out this video. Hope my voice wasn't too annoying, and I hope you learned something. And thank you, guys. Have a great day.